welcome, Usman. Welcome, Abiodun. Welcome. Harrison, please, over to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good night, from wherever you are. My name is Harrison, a product designer, and I'm happy to be here once more this Saturday. So I was opportune to see the competitive research that you guys have been able to come up with, and I have gone through it, and I've also broken it down to see the key summary to everything. But I think today is going to be more of you guys understanding how to use the Figma tool. Yeah. And but let me break down what I got from the research first before we get into it. Okay. All right. So first, we have three competitors, which is Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and Moody. No, it's not Moody. Okay, Model. And the thing there is these guys, they have their own unique features, though some of them have extremely ununique features, and some of them are complicated to use because you have to be a technical person before you're able to use them. So from this, I was able to break it down to what we need to steal and what we need to avoid, right? So but I'll probably share the document when we are done with the class of introduction to Figma today. So, but what I can see from the Google Classroom is that it is extremely easy to use and free, but purely a classroom tool, right? Purely a classroom tool. No attendance, no fees, no admin dashboard, no parents portal, but a great US to learn from, but terrible admin depth. That's for Google Classroom. So moving on to Microsoft Teams, is a powerful collaboration and analytics, and so it is powerful for collaboration and analytics, but enterprise grade complexity that overwhelms teachers. It is a little bit complicated for teachers to use. It's not every teacher that will be able to use it, and they don't have any school management feature either, and poorly suited to African K-12 context, right? They didn't consider African K-12 context while making this particular platform. So for the last one, which is model, it is the most customizable. It's open source. It has about 1,000 and 1,700 plus plugin, right? With a solid grade book and some school features via plugin, but notoriously hard to use, requires IT staff to run, and has a dated UI. That means that the UI is not clean and it's not simple. All right, so what actually sets our own app or our own platform different is that we have the management fee, native attendance tracking, and admin operation dashboard, a real two-way parent portal, student welfare flagging, timetabling, enrollment workflows, and localization for African K-12 schools. So what we can do is that from these designs, from these lessons that we've seen from these competitors, we can steal from Google simplicity, right? Steal from Teams engagement analysis, steal from models, gradebook depth and permission model, and avoid their complexity, their missing admin tools, and their Western slash enterprise bias, right? So these are some things that we can steal. But like I said, I'm going to share the document after today's class. So I hope we are all ready to dive into introduction to Figma. Please, you can just indicate so I present my screen and we get it all started. All right, cool. So how many of us here have ever used Figma before? Sorry, aside from Favor, Success, and Lolade. Okay, Oluwanifemi, you've used Figma before. Okay. Any other person? Okay. I think you're raising up your hand. Do you want to say something, or you're just indicating that you've used Figma before?
I was educating. I've used Figma before.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Any other person? Hello? Okay, no one. So I would define Figma as a very easy to use tool for any designer that wants to get into a design space. It is easy to use. It's more of shapes and colors, but you just have to understand how to use the tools. So today I'll be explaining the usage of Figma tools. So let me, okay, share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Thank you. Can you guys see it? Please, you can just say
Yes,
something.
we can.
All right, cool. So let's start a new, oh, I've overused the whole space. So let's just start from this. So on a norm, when you come on Figma, you are going to see somewhere like this. Let me say this is practice area. Okay. So you're going to see somewhere like this, right? So you're going to see somewhere like this empty, nothing, 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 nothing. So the reason why everywhere here, as this place where my cursor is, like the reason why you can see practice area, call bank, AI2, supermarket inventories, Bandly, some works is because I've been able to like create different pages under it. So you can create different pages under a particular page, right? You can create different pages. So now this is a practice area where we are going to start to understand about Figma. And on the norms, everything here under variables and style and page color. And page color is going to be consistent because this is the color of this entire page. If I change it to black, it will change to black. If I change it to white, it will change to white, right? So it can change to any color. This is where you get the color. You can change it to any color here, right? So let's take it back to C4, C4, C4. So this is the default, right? So for under variables, these are some variables that came with Figma and some variables that I have created by myself, right? But when it comes to styles, like these color styles, these are not, if you open a new Figma file, you'll not be able to see any of this here because it is new, but these are some ones that I've created for myself. And also the same thing for effect styles. These are the ones that I've created for myself also. You get, and there's something about Figma too. You can also have plugins. So when you right click and you come to plugins, this plugins aspect will be normally you're not going to have any plugin here because you have to install on a norm that is going to take you to manage plugins, and you're not going to look for the plugins that you want to install, right? So these are a list of plugins, and you can also search for the plugins you want to. So these plugins actually help your work to be easier. Let me give you guys like an instant. Let's say I bring in this image. So if you want to bring an image into Figma, right, you can use the shortcut Control Shift K, right? Control Shift K. You can use it to bring this in. You can drag it in like this, right? And it's going to come, or you can just click on it and still open it, and it's going to ask you where you want to put it. Please, I don't know if you are following, but I want to show us something with what the plugin can do. I can't see in case anybody is raising up their hand, but please, you can talk. You can unmute your mic and talk, so I will know that you're following because I'm on Figma as we speak. So let's say I bring out this image or bring this image into Figma. So like I said, Control Shift K, right? That's a shortcut for it. And so if I right click, based on the fact that I already have a plugin, let's say I want to remove the background of this particular image, I can come here and click on run, right? So, but there's also another way I can use to remove the background of this image, but it's going to be longer. So what plugin does is that they actually allow you to perform a particular task in a particular platform without going to the external platform that is created for, so that it was initially created in. Do you understand? So I'm just explaining what plugin does, because if I take this image out here, I can take it to the site called remove background itself, and it's going to remove the background. I don't know why it's not removing this background though. Let me see. As you know, you're moving it. But please, are you guys following though? Like I said, you can unmute and let me know. Okay, all right, cool.
Yes.
No identify in image details. Recommend using. Let me bring in another image. Why is it not doing what it's supposed to do? Okay, maybe I should bring in this one. Hopefully this should work. Okay, so I think this should work. But basically, that is what now you can see that this one, it has removed the background, so there's no background again here. So if you control Z it, it will come back, and if you control Shift Z it will go back to the background that was removed. Okay, so now let's go to the two section that we have here. Can we all see these two sections that my cursor is on?
Yes.
Hello. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So first, we have the move to, we have the and to, we have the scale to, yeah. So the shortcut for move to is V, and to is H, scale to is K, right? But most times I don't use the and to, I just use the mouse that is on the laptop to just move things around, right? So that one works. But let's now say this image, you want to scale it. You can scale it in two ways. You can click on Shift on your keyboard and drag it, right? And it's going to expand. Or you can follow what we have here, that if you want to scale, you can just click on K on your keyboard and you can scale it without pressing down Shift, and it's going to increase in size. Are we following?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
All right, cool. So now we are, so now let's not forget, this is currently on K. Just in case you've forgotten that it's on K, it will, if you draw anything, it will keep increasing the size, So what you can do, instead of you to come back here and start looking for move, which might slow your process, you can just click on V, and now you can move the image wherever you want to. So that's that about the first two, right? And so now let's go to frame. So there's something about frame. Frame is like the apartment you are in. So let's say you are staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, you are required to have a sitting room and 2 rooms, right? You cannot do anything outside the 2 apartments that was allocated to you, either for the plot of land you bought or either for your landlord or for your landlady or whatever they are called, right? So the frame is like the wall that divides your portion of the house or the portion of your apartment from that of your neighbor. So whatever you want to design should be inside this frame. That is the way that when we go online to maybe like a website, the last time we spoke about Child Deck, right? Everything inside Child Deck is designed inside this particular frame. And the frame can be long, it can be extremely long depending on what you are designing, and it can be extremely short depending on what you are designing, right? So, but everything is inside the frame. If for any reason I put this image now, yeah, I put it inside this frame, right? If I go to the prototype, okay, I think this is too much. I think the highest resolution you can, or the dimension you can use for a website is 1920 pixel. That's the width, right? So if that's the highest that you can use, I don't think that's the standard. All right. So now let me say I bring this image inside this frame now. If I put it here and I play the prototype, so you are going to see it inside the frame. You're going to also see the difference if I try bringing it outside the frame. So now you can see that it is inside this frame. And if I keep scrolling, based on the fact that the frame is that long, that's why it keeps scrolling like this. So if I come here and I bring this image, I put it somewhere here. Now we can see that it is hiding already. If I go to the prototype, you can see it is already hiding because the frame is the wall. You cannot do anything outside the frame, but you can actually open a frame. So if I click on this frame one now and I go to under layout and I click on this click content, content rather, you can see that it is out now, but in the prototype, it will still show that it is inside, but it is out, so you can actually do whatever you want to do to it here. Do you understand? There are some carousels that you are going to design, depending on what design you want to do, that you will need to unclip a frame so you'll be able to see what you are doing. Because carousels are like things that move. I don't know how to explain it, but let me see if I have anyone here. Okay, I think I have one here. Let me just show you guys. Okay. Let me show you guys this one. Okay. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Okay. Okay, so for something like this now, let me just quickly show you guys what I was talking about here. So this is what I'm talking about. So for this guy now, you can see that it is scrolling horizontally. I have to, before I was able to get this, I had to unclip the particular frame. So when users are scrolling, they will be able to see the images and how the images are supposed to like show. So that is what I mean by that carousel I was talking to you guys about. Please, are you guys following?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So that's one thing about the frame, and everything that you are designing about any website, either the website or the mobile, it has to be inside the frame. Let me close this frame again. And for frames, you have different type of frames. This one, I just drew this frame by myself, but Figma made it so easy that you can actually choose from whatever frame that you need. So if I click on frame now, and you come to the menu by your right, where my cursor is, where you have design, right? So you see frame, then you see phone, the frames you have under phone, iPhone 17 down to Android medium. You go to tablets, you see the same thing for tablet, right? Depending on if you're designing a tablet. And for the same thing, you also see under desktop. You also see if you want to do a presentation, if you want to design a watch, whatever watch, smartwatch, iWatch is there for paper and for social media and also for Figma community. So Figma has a community, right, where you can just put your design and people are going to go there to get inspiration to designs that they want to do. So but you guys can remind me so I can take you guys through the Figma community later. So now that's that for frame. Now we have sections. So sections are used to divide different, like let's say for this particular app that we are working on now, we want to design the section for teachers. We can divide, we can bring it under this section. We can say this is for teachers, right? And we can also, let's duplicate this, and we can say this is for students, and basically so on and so forth, right? So these are sections. So this will make it easy for the developer that you want to hand over to actually understand that, okay, this particular part is for this particular personnel and so on and so forth, right? And what else do you have here? So this slice tool is not something that it is mostly used in Figma, but may hardly use it. But it's just a tool that can help you create multiple shapes if you need it. But it's not something that I really use like that in Figma. The most tool that I use under frame, sorry, under this section is frame and sections, right? So moving on, then we have this other tool that is called the shape tool. So under the shape tool, we have rectangle, we have line, we have arrow, we have ellipse that you can turn to circle, we have polygon, we have star, and we have the image. So in case you don't want to do the Control Shift K, you can just come here and click on any image and drag it in, right? But with time, I think you should be able to understand these shortcuts because it make your design much more faster, right? So let's start with the rectangle tool. So Figma also gives us the ability to be able to draw a square shape with a rectangle. So all you just have to do is to click on the shift while you're drawing the rectangle and everything will turn to a square. The same thing applies for the ellipse also. So when you want to draw a square, you will start drawing the shape, hold down your shift, release your mouse, not the shift first. You have to release that particular the left click that you're using to draw it first before you release the shape, so it can give you the square shape that you're looking for. And you can also manipulate this shape to whatever you want by clicking on the enter key on your keyboard. So I can come here and draw whatever shape that I want. I can now, you can see that everything is straight. I can curve it by coming to this particular place and clicking on bend. I can click it here. It can turn to this curve shape that I want. I can also manipulate it to whatever shape I want, like right here. So some people use Figma to come up with illustrations. You can also use Figma to come up with all those amazing illustrations that you see, either a cartoon character and stuff like that, SpongeBob or whatever that you want. So this is how you can actually do it with this particular shape tool. You can just bring out the shape and manipulate it, or you can start, or or you can start from the bottom by by using this particular pen tool to get the shape that you need, depending on what you want. So that one is that though. Please, are we following? Do we understand, or is it
Yeah.
getting complicated?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. All right. Please, you can bring me back just in case. All right. So that is that for the shape. I think we should be able to understand the line to the arrow to an ellipse, or should I still go and show us what they do? Or there's no need? Hello? Hello? No one is saying anything.
Sure. Also,
Okay. All right. So this line too is the same line. So for you to draw a straight line, you have to hold the shift. And don't forget, while you are drawing, most times when you want to draw something, if you're using a mouse, yeah, you have to click, you have to left click and keep drawing and all, right? Depending on any shape you want to use on Figma, right? So you have to release the left click first before you release the shift, or else it's not going to give you the the shape or the stuff that you want, right? So the shortcut for line is L. When you click on L, you just hold the shift and you draw it, right? So that's just what the line is. And under the line part, you can turn the line to either a straight line or a dash line. So when you come to stroke, lines are mostly stroke, right? So when you come to stroke, you can click on this icon here is advanced stroke setting or CMO, whichever you are calling it. So when you click here, then you can see basic, you can see dynamic, and you can see brush. Um, Depending on the design that you're working on, but for this particular time, we are going to choose what is it called? Basic. So we can see that we have solid and we have dash, dash, dash. So based on that, we are going to, okay, let's increase the stroke. So this guy is very small. Okay. So now we can make it the position to be inside or outside or center, right? So I just increase the width. We can also reduce the width to whatever I want to reduce it to. So now, based on the fact that this is currently looking some type of way, we can come here and increase the spacing between it, right? We can increase the spacing between it. If you want it to have like a curved edge, you can have a curved edge. If you want it to be straight just like this, it can, and so on and so forth. So you can just like do different manipulation to the line that you have here, depending on what you want to work on. And also, if you click on enter, right? If you click on enter, you should be able to also manipulate this line to whatever position you want. If it's going to be something like this, you can also manipulate it to whatever shape that you want, rather, say section, to whatever shape you want. So basically that's that. And let's not forget, lines are strokes, right? And the other shapes, they have stroke and they have fill. So going back to that of the rectangle, so we can see that this internal part, there's a fill color there already, which is somewhere here. It's telling you D9, 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 right? You can also manipulate it to, sorry, change it to whatever color you want to. Now you can see that it's all fill. As I move the cursor around, it's changing to the color I want. So I can also add a stroke to it, which is going to be out, but it's a little bit not visible now because of the distance. But if I increase it, you can see I just increased the width of the stroke to 51. But you can see here it is inside. I can change it to center. I can also change it to outside. Now we can see the movement between the inside, the center, and the outside, right? So we can also decide to work on this stroke and make it a dash instead of a solid, depending on what we want. We can change the color of the stroke to let's say red itself or whatever thing that we want to do, right? And for this particular shape, now that we have the shape, let's now say that we want to put a picture inside this shape. We can now go to Control Shift K, or let me just use the normal Figma way. We can go to image like video. We can copy the image I want to put. We can open it and it's going to access where I want to put it. If I click here now, the image is just going to be fitted in that shape. So the reason why it's fitted in the shape is because that is the space we've assigned for it to stay in. I don't know if you are following. Okay, so basically that's okay, thank you. So basically that's that about the square and the line shape. So that of the arrow shape is just, you still have to hold on to your shift. It's just the normal arrow shape. You can increase the thickness. This one now is 2. You can increase the thickness here to be very visible. This one now is 50, right? Depending on whatever, and you can also manipulate this to whatever shape that you want, right? So you can come here and be like, okay, so I want the arrow to be like this, maybe something like this, or I want it to stand like this, right? And if you click on enter, you can also add like a curve here. Say, okay, this is how I want the arrow to stay and stuff like that. You get, so that's that about the arrow. Moving on to that of the ellipse. Like I said, the ellipse, if you want to draw a circle, you have to hold on shift. But if you want to draw the normal ellipse, which is E, okay, O rather. So you can just draw it this way and it should just keep changing to the shape that you want, right? Okay, so that's that about the ellipse. And also for the ellipse, we have fill, we have stroke, just the same way we have for the rectangle, and you can also manipulate the shape also. So I think that's that about the ellipse. Moving on to the polygon, you can draw a normal triangle if you want to, and you can manipulate the shape for the count. Under counts here, if you can see my cursor, you can see that currently we have 3 counts, so you can increase it to whatever shape that you want, right? So basically, and for this, you have fill and you also have stroke. You can also manipulate the shape to whatever you want. So this is that about the polygon. For the star too, the same thing. You can just draw a normal star and also change the count to whatever stuff you want. You can also put in a corner radius that we can see that the edges here are sharp, but we can put in a corner radius to make them curve a little bit depending on what you want to design. And the ratio also. So this ratio is talking about this part here that comes inside. You can increase it. You can increase it and maybe get, maybe this is the shape that you want. You can get it from that also. And don't forget this one too. You have the fill and you also have the stroke for this also. So moving on to, so I think the last one is the image part that we've used. So when you click on it, it's going to open your default image page and you can select any image that you want and bring it out. So basically that's that. So moving on to the text part. So for the text part, you can just click on that C icon and type, let's say this one now is practice. Let me zoom in. Practice area, right? So this one is practice area. So the default color that I've been using is black. So when you come here, this is where you see the properties of anything that you're working on. First, the positioning, which really doesn't really matter, right? Is showing you the X and the Y axis, right? But you can focus on things like rotation. If I want to rotate it, whatever way I want to rotate it, let's say it's 90 degree or 180 or whatever. So I can just come here and just rotate it to wherever I want to rotate it. Get so that one is just to show you what you can do with the property part, and you can also turn it over. You can flip it. You can also mirror it whichever way that you want to. So that one is also by the way. So moving on, we have the layout, right? So for this layout, we have resizing. So sometimes when you want to like write a particular text, to the particular text, if you want it to be in a particular box like this now, that means that you don't want it to pass this box. So if I continue writing something, it will break. Let's say this one now, I want to write practice area for today, right? Now we can see that for this resizing, I clicked on this box. It is fixed. So once something is fixed, it is not breakable. I don't know if, sorry, it is breakable rather. Once it is fixed, it is breakable because it will not allow you to continue writing in a straight line. It is going to break. So that is what this means, right? So this one too is going to give you like the height, how the height of the image is sorry, of the text, how the height of the text is going to be, and it's not going to exceed that height at all. So if I continue writing practice area for today's class, it will keep breaking in session, stuff like this, right? So now let us pay attention to this and this. This and this, they are like the normal static rule. They are not democracy. They're like military regime. But when we click on this last one here, which is auto width, you can now see that you can continue typing and typing and typing until when you get tired, you're not going to be the one to click on enter before you continue typing the next stuff. But if I don't want to click on enter, if I continue typing, it will keep on typing till we probably get to the end of this whole full screen that we are working on. I don't know if you guys are understanding me though. Please, are you guys following?
Yes, we are following.
All right, cool. Cool stuff. So now, if you also look at it, the more the space it's taking that we are typing for, we can see now that it is showing us the dimension, that this dimension is what, 408, and the height is 39. Now, I want us to pay attention to this height here, and also this height that we have here. We have somewhere here, this is under typography, it's called line height. You can see that this height here and this height here is the same, yeah? But on a norm, this height here for a new design is supposed to be auto, right? Like supposed to be auto, and the auto height is normally 30. But if the only time that you can increase the height between a text is, let's say you want to make it readable to users, so you can now come here, right? So you can now increase the height, and let me show you guys something. So initially, right, the height is 30. Can we see it that it's 30 here now? Can we see it?
Yeah.
See my screen, all right. So if I come here now and I click enter, it will turn to 60 because now it's telling you that you've duplicated that particular text under it, and the initial height is 60. So it's 30. Now that you've done enter again, that is going to be 60. The same thing happens if I do another enter, it's going to be 90 and all. But now let's now say that all this text is not very visible for my users, so I can come here and increase it. If I'm increasing it here, it's increasing in this height space here. I can come here and increase the height. So it's going to be like, most times what makes us increase the height of a text is so it's going to be visible to the people that will be reading it, depending on what you are designing or the target audience that you're designing for, right? All right, so basically that's that. Let me go back. Let me turn this back to auto, and let's go back. Please, if you have questions, you can ask. Thank you. All right, so now we have the appearance. So under appearance, right, we have the opacity. So the opacity is the thickness of the color. I can reduce this opacity now to, let's say, 50. So it's going to be blur a little bit. This one, everywhere I've not yet blur, but we can make everywhere blur now by increasing it to, by reducing it to like, let's say like 10. So can you see that everywhere I blur like this, right? But don't forget, the fill is still showing 100%, but the opacity is showing 10, right? So that simply means that the opacity has the power, or have the power rather, to reduce the visibility of a particular image or text without you touching the fill of the color itself. I don't know if I'm making sense, guys. Hello?
Yeah, making sense.
All right, cool. So going back, let's bring this back to 100. So now for this guy now, we are going under here. So we see stuff like typography. Well, before we go to typography, without also touching the fill, I can come here and hide this text, and you're not going to see it. But Figma is going to notify you that you've hidden it under this layer. So everything you are doing will be under different layers, right? If you come to this section where my cursor is now, you can see layers, right? So everything here will be showing under here. So now you can see this arrow that I've drawn, and also this rectangle. So this is it. So if I open it here now, you can see that it is now back. You can see it. So I just wanted us to see that. So going to typography. So we have several fonts that came with Figma, and there are some fonts that you have to install yourself depending on what you want to design, right? So under this font, you can select whatever fonts that you want, if this is the font that you want, or if that is also the font that you want. But for this class, we'll be using Clash Gotek, right? So because this is my best font so far. All right, so you can also change the font family if you want it. So this particular thing here is called font family, right? If you want it to be extra light, rectangle, medium, and so on and so forth, right? Depending on what you want. You can also change the size. You can change the size manually, or you can just come here and be like, okay, I want this thing to be 60, right? Or you can use your scale tool and increase the size. And let's not forget, the shortcut for scale is K. You can come here and increase the size to whatever we want, right? We can increase it to whatever size that we want. So that one is that. And under here, we also have the line spacing. The line spacing is mostly effective when your text is broken down into different lines. For this particular guy now, the line spacing is not going to show, even if we increase it to, let's say, 500. It won't show now until when we actually break this thing down. So now you can see the difference between this guy and this guy. The spacing here is 500, right? 500 pixels, and Figma is being measured in pixels, right? Okay, so basically that's that. And what else? Okay, so the line spacing, that's if you want to reduce the spacing between your text, you can do that here. If you want to increase it, you can also do that here, right? And for alignment, default, your text are aligned to the left. You can also bring it to the middle. You can bring it to the right also, right? And this particular guy is if you want to align your text to the middle vertically, right? And the same thing applies to this. If you want to bring it to the bottom, or if you want to take it to the top, right? So basically, that is what that stands for. And for this fill part, you can also hide this text here, but if you can see, you've hidden it, but it's not showing here that you've hidden it, but it is here, right? That shows that the opacity has a bigger power in the whole text part and also the shape part to actually show that it is superior to that of the fill. So that's just what I want you guys to know. And also your text too can have stroke. You can add stroke to your text. You can add a different stroke to your text. Let me increase the stroke so you guys can see it. Yes, so you can have stroke also, and you can you can also position it if you want it to be inside, center, or outside, right? But let me remove the stroke for now. And you can also have different effects also. So now let's say I want to put a particular effect to this guy. But before I put the effect, I want us to pay attention to this first. So let me remove the effect. Let me zoom in. Okay, so now I'm clicking on the effect part. So under effect, we have drop shadow, we have inner shadow, we have layer blur, we have background blur, we have noise, we have texture, and we have glass, right? So depending on what you want to work on, if it's drop shadow, you can also come here and manipulate it that, okay, like you want the shadow to show very well in the x-axis, or you don't want it to show at all in the y-axis, like you want the blur to be very obvious. You also want the color that you are using for the shadow to be very, very obvious also. So we can see that this thing is showing that there's a shadow behind it compared to how it was at first. Let me off it first. Now you can see that there's a difference between this and when this is on. Am I right? Hello?
Yes. Difference.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. So that's that about the effect part. Then also you can export a particular design. I can export this. Let me go to, here's the rectangle. So I can export this guy now. I can just come here and export it. You can export as PNG, JPEG, SVG, or PDF, right? So for JPEG or PNG, I will advise 4x. So it is going to come out well. So I'm trying to export this now. Let's wait for it. So what is taking time is actually the network that's making it take this much time. It shouldn't take this much time. So basically, you can export whatever design that you've worked on, right? So I think we should quickly work on either a mobile app design so you guys can see how it works. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's
Hello?
correct.
All right, cool. So when you want to design, you have, let me present my entire screen so you guys can see how I do it at times. Stop sharing, present entire screen. Okay, share. Okay, yeah, I guess you all can see my screen there. So we have the likes of Dribble, right? So we have the likes of Dribble that you can just go to and get a particular design, get inspiration like mood boards to designs that you want to work on, right? So when all this is downloading, you see thousands of designs that are being done by different personas. So this one is like a design for, I search for a church app, yes, church app. So you can just come here and search for the design that you're looking for, depending on what you want to work on. But for today, we are working on a, please can someone remind me what we are working on? Learning
Learning
platform.
management.
Learning or academic.
Okay.
Okay, learning hub.
So let's see what this guy have done here, right? Okay, so maybe we can just design this. Let's just design this guy here that say good morning, Tanya Pina. Okay, so let's see what we can do with this like real quick. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to save the image. Let's see what we can do. So we all are going to follow through. Let me see. Okay, I think he has broken it down. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Figma. Okay, so what we're trying to export has given us where we what we want, so we can now save it here. So I've exported it, and if I go to my downloads, it should be there. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Can you see it? Because I'm presenting my entire screen, so if you really see.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So this was what we exported. It should show here now. Now, can you see how sharp it is and how bright it is because of you exported it in 4x, right? So it's going to make it much more easier for whoever you want to share it with to see. So now let's go to the design we are stealing from. We are stealing like an artist from, not just stealing. So let's rotate this guy a little bit. So it's going to make life much more easier for us while we are designing. Okay. So now the first thing that we want to do is to get the particular frame that we need. So for this, we are going to use the mobile frame. I hope we still understand how we'll be able to get it. So for here, we are going to phone. Phone is mobile, yeah. Tablet is mobile also, but we are focusing on the phone bit now. So we can come here and choose an iPhone 17. Let's start with the smallest. I think this is fine because something about designing mobile first is it is going to help you understand how you can design for accessibility for different users. I don't know if I'm making sense because most people are going to use their phone on this application or on this platform that we are working on than the website. Okay, let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing first, when you're designing for a mobile is that you have to understand that you have to position your layout grid. So your layout grid is going to give you like going to give you an idea of the parts that you cannot cross horizontally, sorry, vertically, right? It's going to give you the parts that you cannot cross. So this is what I mean without stressing us. So under this particular part, under design, when you come down, you see stroke, you see effect. We can also see that this layout grid was not there before. It was only export, right? So based on the fact that we're starting a new design, if I click on this guy now, it's going to show the layout grid. So I can click on plus, and it's now going to ask me, what do you want to do? So first is that I want to fix the column. So for that of the mobile, mostly is within 5 and 6. For that of the web is 12. That's for the column, yeah. So, but we are going to use 5 here, and we are going to come to this particular place that we call the margin. So the margin is the distance from the left and the distance from the right. What do I want to give to it? Sometimes I use 20, sometimes I use 24, right? Depending on what I'm designing. So the reason for all this is so that we are going to have this amazing space from year to year, right? And also this amazing space from year to year. So it's not going to be as if we are designing inside the entire frame, and it's going to be looking very, very clustered. I don't know if I'm making sense, guys.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. You can also increase the gutter to whatever you want, but me, most times I leave it at 20, right? So that being said, we are going to come back to what we are designing. So you can actually switch it off, but whenever you need to confirm if you are designing on the right line vertically, you can switch it on, right? Okay, so that being said, first we have the 9:09:42 o'clock. So we can come to the text and we can come here and type 09. I want us to check something out first. Let me go back. So now I just click on the text. If I come here now, we can see that this alignment is to the right. So whatever I'm typing will be moving the other way. So let's say 09:24. It's moving this other way, it's moving to the left. But assuming I bring the alignment, or let's say I bring the alignment to the left now, so everything will be moving to the right. So now we have 09:24. So there's this particular law when it comes to design. For mobile, it is mostly 14 pixels for your body text. It is mostly 14 pixels. For web, it is mostly 16 to 20 pixels for your body text, depending on the screen size that you're using. But mostly for mobile, it's 14 pixels. But you can also manipulate it depending on if you are working on a dashboard type of design, because there are some texts that will have more hierarchy than the other. We know what hierarchy is, right? Hello?
Yeah, the
I
other.
don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear what the last person said.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
other
know.
concept.
Okay. So hierarchy is like firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, fourthborn. You get in the family, the hierarchy, the person with the highest hierarchy is the first child, the
Oh, all right.
secondborn, and the thirdborn. All right,
Understand now.
all right, cool. So basically, we just got this time out. So we can also design all this, but we don't have that time. So we can use the plugin. So we can come to plugins and go to this plugin called Iconify. So we know that the first thing that we're looking for is bar. The second thing is Wi-Fi. And the third thing is battery, right? Though I already have all this in a previous design, but I just want to show us how we are going to do it from the scratch. The network is delaying. The network is delaying. Okay, while the network is loading, let me just steal it from one of the designs and bring it in real quick. Hopefully the network is not going to delay for this. But let me see. Let me see if this one is open. It's not. Okay. Still delaying. Almost. Okay. Okay, let me steal it from this guy. Let me just steal this guy's stuff and bring it to Control C and okay, now we have it. But let me just paste it here just in case it starts delaying us again. Okay, so the first thing that we are looking for is bar, I think. I think that's the name. Yeah, something like this. Something like that, something like that, something like that. Yeah, I think it's something like this. Let's just steal this and bring this. Sorry, let's just bring this out. So the next thing is Wi-Fi. You have to know the name of what you're looking for so you can get it. So I hope you understand. And the last one is battery. Okay, this is this. There we go, is that. Okay, so now we have this three. So the next thing for us to do is to resize it so it's going to fit into what we are designing. Okay. So currently 16, 24, 24. So let's reduce this to let's say 10. Hopefully 10 will work. Let's bring it here. So we can just bring this guy here. Let's reduce this to 10. Hopefully it won't be too small, but we'll find out. Bring it here too. And this last one too to 10. Okay. Cool stuff. All right. So we have this guy here, we have this guy here, and we also have this particular guy here too. Right? Let me see. I think they are very small. They're actually very, very small. Okay, so let's increase everything simultaneously. So I selected everything. I'll click on key. I'll drag it out a little bit, right? Instead of doing it one after the other. So that means I'm scaling it, right? So after this, I'll select everything again to make sure that everything is aligned in the way they're supposed to be. Okay. And also select the last one to make sure that it is also aligned with this. So after that, we move on. On a no, I'm supposed to use auto layout, which I think you guys have an idea about to make everything scale out like real quick. But auto layout is something that I would love for us to like go deep into so we understand how it's going to work and how we can use it to scale from mobile to web, and sorry, from mobile to tab and from tab to web, right? So but let's just design it freely. Let's act like freelancers like right now, yeah. So let's say we've gotten all this out now. So the next thing that we need is good morning, Tanya. So we can come here and copy this text, bring it down, copy the good morning. Good morning. Now we can see that the opacity is quite different. The opacity is quite different. This one is not as sharp as this. So what we can do here is, for some people, they will come to this view and reduce it a little bit, right? But that is not a good UI skill, because it is going to convince or confuse the developer to know the exact color that you are using. So what you can do is you still make this 100. So you can come here. The reason why this design is moving like this is because we didn't start with a design system. So you can come here and just look for the particular color that you are looking for. So let's say we are going to use this particular one. So this one will make the developer understand that, okay, this is what you are using. So it's not going to convince them or confuse them. So now we can reduce this text size to 12 pixels, and we can copy this, bring it down. So we can write Tanya, yes, Tanya Pena. And we can increase this to, let's say, 16 or 18 or 27. Yeah, I think this should work. And we can increase the font family to medium is fine. We can take it back to all black. Just make sure that it is good. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to increase the size still. Let's say 24. Okay, so that's that. So the next thing for us to do, we have to look for this image. So where are we going to get this image? So we can come to you. Sorry, hold on. Okay. So we can come to let's search for OnDraw. So these are sites that you can use to get illustrations. So let's search for OnDraw and let's look for, what's the name of that stuff that we are designing? Okay, we can just search for painting type of illustration. Let's see what we can get. So let's search for painting. Let's see if we can get something. Now, we might not get the exact thing, but we should be able to get something close. Just want you guys to see how it's done. Okay, let me borrow this guy. Save as SVG. Let me just borrow that lady. Figma. Okay. So I'll bring the image inside using the Ctrl+Shift+K. Close this. And we should be able to understand that we can flip it whatever way that we want, depending on what we want. So now this other lady is facing here. So what I did was I just came to this alignment part under positioning. Then I click on flip. I can flip it here, I can flip it here, right? So basically that's that. So I don't think we'll be needing this board. I don't think we'll be needing any of this. So I'm going to delete every other thing except what we need. Okay. So I can reduce this by scaling it with the key. Let's bring it inside. Let's see. Just bring it inside and so we can just put it maybe somewhere here. Okay. So after, so like I said, we are not getting the exact particular stuff that we want, right? So that's the reason why this one is looking the way it's looking. But with the SVG, we can change the color to this exact color that this lady have here. if that's what we want to do. So when you select the particular color that the particular shape you want to change the color, you can just click on I on your keyboard and you click on it, and it's going to give you that particular color that you want. So with this, we can do the same thing to change this entire color to whatever we want, right? So basically, that's just that. Moving on, so we can just create like a frame here based on the fact that this frame has things in it like bookmark, daily, like, search, and so on and so forth. So you can come here and put it somewhere here. You can give the frame a fill. And the fill that we have here is, I think it's blue that we have here. Okay. Okay, so this frame actually has like a linear color. That's the reason why it is very blue here and it is fading out here. So let's get that particular linear color that they had there. This guy is disturbing me. Maybe I should just close it. Close. Okay, cool. And you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, please.
But sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
The
Go ahead.
image, the lady painting, why don't we just like reduce the size?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do. I think at
Yeah,
this point,
something like that.
yeah, it's going to make the design look some type of. In
Oh,
fact,
okay.
let me design itself. Let me see if I can get it. Let's check free pick. Let's see if we can see it. But while this is loading, let's go back to get this shape that we have here. Let me bring this guy close to this place. So this particular shape that we have here. So now we can see that this blue is thick, like, but when it gets to this place, it's fading out. So that shows that it is not a solid color that they are using. It is a linear color that has two different colors. So we can achieve that by clicking on this fill. So here we have the solid, where we have the gradients and so on and so forth, right? So what we can do is to click on the gradients and come to linear. Now, but what we can see is that it's as if the blue started from here and it started fading from this axis. So we can do the same thing, bring the blue here, right? Sorry, this is the first blue that is supposed to be here. You come here. Yes, start fading here. You can bring this blue here. So I think it started fading somewhere around here. But let's try and achieve the fade. Let's get the fade, the exact color of that fade. I think this is the exact color of the fade. So basically, I think it's something like this though, that it did. So I'm not very sure, but I think it's something like this. So with this now, we can also see that it is not a rectangle. It is not just a rectangle, it has a radius. So for that of the radius, we can come here under radius corner and give it a radius. Now, the beautiful thing about giving it a radius is you can decide to give the radius to just one part and not the other part. But in this particular case, the radius is being given to every part. So we can just give it like a radius of 30. Hopefully that should work. So I think that's too much. Let's make it 20. Okay, now let's go back to free pick and see if we have something. Okay, so we have painting. Let's look for painting illustration. Get it. Something like this, but exclude AI, free. I don't want to pay for it. Okay. Let's see if we can get it. Like searching for images actually take time when designing. It does take a whole lot of time. So, and well, basically, these are some of the sites that you can actually get paintings from if you want to. But I'm just looking for something else that we can use that will not make our design look boring. Should I use this? And what do you guys think? Should we use this? Please, you guys can talk. Oh. So what do you guys think? Like, if you see anyone you think we can use, just
Guys,
let me
let's
know.
talk. Let's talk. Well done so far for everyone that's been on the call. Hope
The
you
one,
guys
yeah,
enjoyed our facilitator. Usman,
the
I've not
one.
heard your voice in the video.
I'm here. I'm
Please,
available.
sorry, go
I've been
and go on.
responding. I've been responding.
The one with the green one, you can use that.
This one?
The one beside it.
This one, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do real quick. Okay, so Control Shift K, bring it out. No. Oh, has it not downloaded? It does not. Oh, it is in a zip folder. Strange folder. Control C and Control V. Okay. Control Shift K, bring it out. So the beautiful thing about this now is it is not coming in an SVG file. We have to remove the background by ourselves for ourselves. So we can remember how we did it the last time by using the plugin called Remove BG. So you can just come here and remove the background, wait for it to load. But while that is doing, or while that is working, I think it has done that already. Okay. So let's flip it. I think we need to flip it. This one is not allowing us flip, but there's something we can do. If it's not allowing us flip in the normal way, we are going to flip it in the manual way. Okay, it's allowing us flip. So let's do something like this. Hopefully this is not going to stress us, but let's see. Reduce it a little bit, bring it here, increase it a little bit. Hopefully this will work. So, and now we can see that this is above this, which is not supposed to be so. So some people might maybe take this one out and bring it in. It might still not work. So what we can do is to right click, and under this particular drop down, then we can see bring to front. So it's going to bring it to front. So that one is done like that. We are done with that part like that. So the next thing is for us to come here, and now we want to design bookmark down to search. So we are going to come here, look for, sorry, we are going to go to shape rather, then we're going to look for ellipse, hold down shift, draw the circle that we want. The color is white. I'm going to make it white, and let's just duplicate it into 3 other places and one last one. Right. So now we can see that we want this particular spacing between year and year to be the same with year and year. That's for bookmark and also for search. So what we can do is to come here, select everything. When we are done selecting everything, we'll come to these layouts. Now we can see now that the spacing is mixed, right? So I think in this particular part, based on the fact that it has been a while I did it manually, so I really cannot recall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Shift A. I made it an auto layout real quick like this. So now we can see that the spacing now is 14, right? So for this spacing now, there is 14. The beautiful thing here now is I can now go to alignment, and I'm going to click on align horizontal centers. If I click on it, everything will be in the center horizontally. Now I want to align it vertically too. I'm going to come here, align vertical centers. Now everything is now in the center. So now that we have this, we are good to go. The next thing is for us to look for bookmark. So we can come here and look for the under the same plugin called Iconify. We can come here and search for bookmark, search for whatever stuff that we want, bookmark. So we can just search for whichever one that we want. Maybe I'm just going to use maybe something like this for this, and we look for, so for under daily, in case we are not seeing daily, we should be able to see something called calendar. But now we're using this for the daily. So the next thing is likes. Okay. So if we are not seeing likes, we click on like. Okay. At the end of the day, it's going to give us what we are looking for. And okay, let's use this or this or this or this for like, yes. So the next thing is search. Yeah, we should be able to see search. So let's use minimal. Yeah, let's use this guy for search. All right, cool. So now we can close this guy now because we are done with it. So the next thing for us to do is to make sure that every shape is good to go. So let's make all the shapes uniform. So this is 24, this is 24, this is 16, this is 24. So let's try 16.
I have a question, please.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Can you use auto layouts to make the shapes the same?
You can't use auto layout to make the shapes the same, but you can use auto layout. Okay, chill. I think what you're talking about is auto layout to get the same dimension for the shapes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can, but what you can do is this. So let me quickly finish this. Hold on. What you can do is this. So now already have this shape. Everything now is 16, 16, 16, 16, right? So I can come here, remove this from a frame, which is Control Shift G. And the next thing I'm going to do is to click on Shift A. So now that I've clicked on Shift A, this is actually a auto layout, but you can't see it yet. So I can come here and put a fill to it. So now that I put a fill to it, I can now come to this particular radius part and make it, let me bring it up. So now you can see that this guy already has a radius of its own, right? So instead of me to draw the circle first, I can just do something like this, and it's going to give me the exact shape that I need. So what I can now do is to, let's say, come to this particular guy now, steal this guy, come here, Control Shift R, and I'm just going to be changing it for everything. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like this paint layouts thing from Docs or something.
Sorry, I
That
didn't
kind
get
of.
you.
It's like this paint layouts from Google Docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that being done, so the next thing we are going to impute this guys into their respective family. So first we bring this guy here, we drop it here, which is extremely small, but we are still going to increase it. We bring this guy here too. So we'll bring this guy here, we'll drop it here, which is still extremely small, but we'll still increase it. The same thing for bookmark, and so on and so forth. And the last one. Okay, so now we've gotten something like what we need. So now we can see that these shapes are small. So let's just increase the sizes. Guys, okay. 1, 2. Oh, okay. My bad. Please, I'm coming. I need to get that love shape back. Or like. Wow. I'm up go. Okay. So let's just make them 24 back. I think that will work. Since this guy is very small. This 26, this 24. Yeah, this should work. Should do the same thing for this. X. Okay, so there was something I did just now, yeah. So instead of me to like delete this guy before bringing this new guy in, so I just cut this guy, Control X, Then I click on this guy. Then I did Control Shift R. So it's like I'm replacing it. I just wanted us to know what I did there. So take this guy back to 24. So 1, 2. This guy to 24. 1, 2. Okay. But it's still big. These guys. It's still big. So let me just increase this guy manually. Okay, now I get. Please, you guys can tell me if you guys feel that the shapes are the same or not, or when you guys feel the shapes are the same or not. We are all learning. Okay. So do you guys think this is good to go? That's the shape before I start arranging them. Hello?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
Looks good.
Okay. So now let's arrange everything so it will be centralized. This and this. From here to and centralize it with the alignment to horizontally and vertically. Do the same thing for this too. Okay. Do the same thing for this also. 1 and 2. Okay, so let's just assume that this is the color that we are going to use: blue, green. Come here and come here and choose the green. And this is red. And this is purple. So please note, all this is just for this design, but on a norm where you are using fill, you're supposed to use fill. When you are using stroke, you're supposed to use just stroke. There should not be a combination of stroke and fill. It's not good design etiquette for users. I don't know if we understand what I'm saying. Do we understand?
No, can you explain that?
Okay, so this is fill. Yeah, but this icon is a fill icon. This icon is a stroke icon. This icon is a fill icon. This icon is a stroke icon. Do we understand? So, but in normal real life design, everything, if you want to use fill, you use fill strictly. If you want to use stroke, you use stroke strictly. Do we understand?
Yeah, but can you tell?
Yeah. You can
Mm.
tell. This is fill. This particular guy now is fill. If I want to off the fill, I'll off it. Now I can make it a stroke. This is a stroke. This is a stroke part of this. Do we understand?
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Oh, okay. Do we understand now though?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so I think the next thing now is hand down and so on and so forth. So let's steal this design again. Let's bring it down. So we have hand drawn rather. We have hand drawn. So okay. So we are going to reduce this to from here we can see that this is bigger than this. So let's reduce it to, let's say, maybe 16. Yes, this should work. Let's use 16. So and we can also see that this particular frame that we have here, it has an effect. I don't know if you guys can see it. So let's put the effect.
Yes.
Okay.
Feel like I shadow.
Yes, yeah. So it's a drop shadow effect. And we can see that it is actually coming down towards the x-axis, right? No, it's not. Sorry, the y-axis. I'm sorry. Let me take this back. It is dropping towards this side, like this y-axis. So let's do the same thing here. Let's bring this guy down a little bit. Let's reduce the blur. But let's increase it. Okay. And let's reduce this a little bit. Let's say maybe something like this. Sorry, let me off this so we can see what we've been doing so far. So I think maybe something like this. I'm not that sure. Think maybe something like that. Let's try it still. Okay, equals spread. No. Okay, let's use something like this for it. Hopefully this works fine for us. So the next thing is for us to change this color to the blue that we have. Change it to blue. And the next thing is there's a line there. So we can make this line the, we can use the normal rectangle to draw it, or we can use the normal line. So any which one that we want, we can do. But let me just use rectangle real quick. This is too big. Let's reduce the height. So and if you want to maybe move an object 10 times faster, you can hold the shift key with the direction you want to move it on your keyboard, right? So it's going to move 10 times faster than when you're just moving it with your with the direction. Let's reduce the width and let's put the radius. Awesome. Let's see if we're in line, something like this. But still, let's reduce the height. Let's make it 4. So the next thing for us to do is to click I on our keyboard and steal the same color, right? So I think that's that. We'll make sure that it's in the middle, just the same way that they did it. So the next thing for us to do now is to click on flat. So it's to duplicate this. We can duplicate it a couple of other times by clicking Control D, Control D. Do you understand? So the next thing for us to do is to click on flat. So it's to write out flat. Then the next thing is geometrical. And I think this last one is abstract. I think so. You see. Abstract. Okay. All right. So that being done, so now we have to put the spacing in between. So we can do the spacing in between by this particular guy. It has been a long while that I used it, but let's just see distribute horizontal spacing. Yeah, now it has distributed it. But like the reason why I say it has been a long time is because most times when I have stuff like that, I just use auto layout to just do it, and it makes my life much more easier. But now we can see that the distance in between this should be written somewhere. The spacing is 53, so let's bring it inside a little bit. Let's say 38 or 43, whichever one is fine. So now we can also see that I think there's a similarity between the font that was used for good morning and the font that was used for flat and geometrical and abstract. So what we can do is to come here, look for that font, copy it, select 1, 2, and 3, and we just come here and we paste the font there. It's going to, well, oh, okay. I don't know why I didn't select that there. So we'll just Control V it and we are good to go. So that's that. So the next thing now is for us to get this particular shape done. So I think I can come here, steal this guy, copy it, bring it down, remove the effect, and what's the next thing? You can remove the effect because I think it's almost the same shape that they are using for here and here. So instead of drawing something back, so we can just do that. So we can remove everything inside. Sorry, remove everything inside. Okay, take it out. Now the next thing is you make it a solid shape. Now we can see that it's pure white. Okay, so now what we can see from here now is that this pure white is not making us see anything because the background itself is white. But I think the background they use for the design is not really white. So I think it's the background because I just copied it. So now you can see this particular guy now, but we need to add a little bit of effect. So it's going to show that it is standing alone. I don't know if you understand. Hello? Please, are you guys following me?
Yes,
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 we can see
yeah.
it.
All right, cool. Thank you. Okay, so maybe we can use something like this. So everything I did here is not magic. I was just testing waters to see which one is okay for me. So now I think we can use something like this. So the next thing is for us to let's first of all write out the test before we start looking for the illustration. So we have office worker, sorry, office worker, right? I think this particular office worker, the font size is the same thing with the hand drawn, flat, and geometrical. So I think we can use that. So the next thing we duplicate this, we bring and we're going to write design by we replace. Okay, so we're going to reduce this particular font to I think 14 should work, but the font family will be reduced to, let's say, rectangle. So this is just trying to show who is the firstborn, who is the secondborn, and who is the lastborn, just like as I was explaining in the terms of hierarchy. And let's not forget, this color is showing that office worker is the firstborn. So the next thing for us to do is to come up with the other text. So let's just say they are perfect to use in your presentations, applications, onboarding, or marketing websites. All right, cool stuff. So now we have to reduce this to, let's say, 12. So it can also show hierarchy. And we can also see now that this font is way bigger than this. This one is way bigger than this, right? It's just showing hierarchy. And we can also see that this particular last one, the opacity is smaller. So it is like, it is not that high compared to that of the second one. So we need to also work on that. So what we can do is to come here and select an opacity that will also show that. So that's that. So this is supposed to be R, and that's what I wrote. Okay. So the next thing is for us to like center it in a way that will show that yes, we know what we are doing. Designed by office worker somewhere here. So now I think we have this guy, we have this guy, and we have this guy. So we can group it and centralize it to make sure that it's actually in the frame. Okay, so this is good. So we can come here and steal this guy, bring this guy here, just to make sure that we have the same thing that we're looking for somewhere here. Okay, cool stuff, I guess. I guess this works. So let's duplicate this also before we go and look for the illustrations. So this one is listening music. Okay, so it's still the same thing, designed by the same person. So let's quickly go look for the illustrations. I think maybe we can get it here. I'm not sure, but let's see. The first one is office worker. Far from it.
I think because you wrote officer.
So I didn't get.
You wrote officer instead of office.
Oh, Thank you. Okay.
The blue one.
This one or
By
this one?
your, yeah.
Okay. I want us to reduce the effect of remove BG that we'll be using. So let's search for it here because this one is going to come as an SVG. So let's say office worker. Okay, maybe this or maybe this. Maybe this. That's one. So the second one is listening to music.
There was one, yeah, listening. Or the
Okay,
first one, music. Can we use that?
Which one? This one
The,
or this, or
the
this
very
one?
first one.
This one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it. So what we need to do is to draw out two rectangular shapes so we can just put them inside without trying to fix them ourselves. So we'll come out here. We'll make sure that these shapes are good to go for our design. Let's see. Bring it back a little bit. Okay, so we are going to give them, or we're going to give it a radius that we think is good to go. So let's make sure that the height is good to go. Okay. So I think we can use this. 1 and 2. So we'll do Control Shift K. We come here and we come here. We select both of them. So it's going to ask us where do you want to put it? We put the first one here. Why is this guy so stubborn? Just want me to do it myself. No, I read you. Can you see? Very weird guy. Please, I'm coming. Guys, I'm coming. I will fix it. First thing first. You come here first. The reason why it didn't work like that is because it's not an image, it's an SVG. Are you guys following?
Yeah, so are we getting an image or?
No. We're still going to use the same SVG. We're just going to make it stay within the space that we are allocating for it.
Can we lock the image so it doesn't move?
Yes, you can lock the image so it doesn't move. So you can lock it here. So it's not going to move regardless of what I do. Because I just locked it, but you can unlock it there too. So I think that's the first one. What was the second one? Okay. Okay. 1 and 2. Let me just take this out first a bit. And where are these guys now? 1 and 2. Why is it not showing? Okay. Okay, one. I wonder why it's not showing. Two. Okay. So first, let's. I don't think we need this or this or this or this or any of this. Let's take it up. Okay, so that's one. So the second one. So I'm using the K2 to scale it. So it's going to fit into the space we provided for it. I hope you guys get that. Is that you guys?
Yeah.
All right, cool stuff. So the same thing for this and the same thing for that. We come in a little bit. Come in a little bit. Okay. All right, cool. So the next thing for us to do is to bring them inside. I think the first one is the work persona. So bring this lady inside. So let's use the same color that we've used. Using color that we've used. Blue. Use blue, I guess. And two. Okay. I think we've been able to manipulate that. Okay, so the next thing is this other guy. X pastes. Okay. We come here and so we have to also confirm that the space from year to year is the same thing with what we have from year to year. Okay, this is 14, this is now 13. So the next thing we have to do is to 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, so we have to change the color to pink and black. Pink, and the same thing for this guy. Okay, so I think we've been able to manipulate both of them, but also don't let us forget that we also have to confirm that the spacing from year to year is the same also. So for year we have 13 and for year we have 20, so it's not right. Let's make it 13, 13. Yes, now this is 13. Now let's make this 13, so that's 13. The same thing for here. Let's see, 13, and this is 13 also. So far so good, guys. Do we understand how we're able to achieve this little stuff? So far so good.
Yes, we do. I do.
Okay. The other personas, please, do you guys understand it? Hello, please, you can unmute your mic and talk.
Yes, yes, we understand. Somehow we understand.
So what questions do you have? She said something, like some parts.
Oh,
Hello?
this is my first experience. You understand?
Oh,
So
okay.
I think yes, repeated work will get us familiar to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So because time is fast spent, do you guys still?
Yeah.
Hope you guys don't mind. So we finish the last part.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, can you please show me how you can add the plugins?
Yeah. So you're going to right click, go to plugins, and you're going to see manage plugins. Then from there, you can search for any plugin that you want. Got
Oh,
it?
okay, thank you. Yeah.
Cool stuff. Gotcha. So
Okay.
that's that.
Sorry. So you right click an empty workspace, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think.
Plugin and manage plugin. So should we finish up? What do you guys say?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
and practice and see how we do. Um,
Yes,
cool.
I'm coming. Please, I'm coming. So guys, let's quickly round it up. So the next thing now is the menu part, right? So okay. So let's draw a new frame. We'll give it a fill. We'll call it white. Okay. So the next thing, let's increase the height a little bit. So now we need to get home. I think this is I don't know if this is dashboard or so. Okay, no, this is not dashboard. This is home. Maybe this is stock. This is menu. This is dashboard. Now this is profile. Okay, so now let's go to the same plugin iconify. Let's look for home, copy. Okay, stock. Uh, I'm not seeing something like that. So I'll go somewhere else to get that one. So I'll show you guys somewhere else I can get that. So the next thing is dashboard. So let's use maybe something like this for dashboard. Then profile. Maybe something like this for profile. Okay, so now let's go somewhere else to get the stock. So we can use this site called SVG repo. So guys, let's use it to search for the stock. While that one is verifying to see if me that I'm a human, if I'm really human, let's continue doing what we are doing. All these computers, they are very funny. We want to verify if I'm human. Okay, so we can see that there is a radius here. If you pay attention to it, you should be able to see, though it's not that visible, but I can see that there's a radius here. So what we can do is to come here and put the radius there. So, but you might be confused, like, why am I not using radius for this edge too, for the frame? The reason why this particular frame is like as this radius is because this is a mock-up. This is a design mock-up presentation. Do we understand? It's a mock-up presentation. Frames don't usually have, when you're designing, you don't put mock-up presentations there, because if you download like a app of like Figma from the mobile store, there's Figma on the mobile store. You can mirror this. It's going to be showing on your phone like a normal app. So the reason why this is showing this way is because they are mirroring it to you like a. Do you guys understand? So we're just going to
Yes.
focus on the radius that we have here. So with that, I'm going to focus on the radius to the top left, and top right. We're not going to do anything to the bottom. So let's make this 20, and let's also make this 20. All right, cool. So the first one is home. Let's see if, okay, all right. So the first one is home. The second one is, let's see if this one has verified me. Okay. Stock. Let's see if I can say. Hmm. If you're not seeing the same thing, maybe we can use, because it has to be few. Maybe we can use this guy. Maybe this guy.
Yeah, I think. Or the one beside a3 bar underscore something.
Bar. Which one? This guy, bar.
Yes.
It's a stroke. It has to be a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has to be a few. So I just downloaded one. Let me just think it's here. Okay. Let's go. Visit, and bring it here. So that's the stroke. Now the next thing is the dashboard. We are going to design that of the menu together. So after arranging this, so the next thing now we need a plus icon. You can go to Iconify and just search for plus. I think I like this guy. So I'll bring it here. I'll copy like this circle. I'll copy this circle, bring it out, turn it to the blue. Thank you. And bring it to the middle here. Reduce the size, obviously. I can reduce the size here. So like the reason why I clicked on this guy, so I'm going to lock it. So whatever happens to the width will happen to the height. If you can see, there's no connection between them now that I've not locked it. If I lock it now, you're going to see a connection between them, right? So so if I come here and I keep reducing this, it will be reducing simultaneously or respectively. So basically, that's that. So I have to make sure that this is in the middle. Okay. Horizontally and vertically. So that's that. So the next thing for us to do, that we can see that there is a shadow. So we can also put the effects here. And the shadow is something like blue, but not blue. It's not like black. There's like a blue shadow there. We have to reduce it to 25. And I think it's somewhere around the y-axis. Now we have to increase the blur so we can achieve something like that. Spread it a little bit. Yeah, something like this though. Yeah, something like this. The next thing for us to do is to bring this plus and change the color down to white. Put it in the middle. If it's not staying in the middle, we can come to the alignment pattern, centralize it. Let me see. Okay. Let's increase this. Okay. This, I think this plus is too big. Let's reduce it a little bit, maybe 12. 1 and 2. Okay. So basically, we have this particular guy here now. So the next thing for us to do is to arrange the home, stock, and so on and so forth, right? So I think we have to reduce this to 24. Let's reduce it to 24. If this is going to work, seems already have something like that. But we have to make sure that the shapes are the same. Okay. Okay, okay. Please, are you guys following me? So it's not as if I'm just the only one that is working. Hello?
I can see what you're doing, yeah, but just paying attention.
Sorry, just in assumption. I don't understand. Like, do you guys understand what I'm doing?
Yeah, I said we're paying attention.
No. Oh, okay. But you guys understand how I'm getting the shapes and resizing it and all, yeah?
Yeah, I got that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, so now we can see that the spacing from here, from the home to the left side and also from the profile to the right side is different from the margin that we created, right? So you can decide to become like to do that, but the main thing is you have to make sure that it is the same margin you have to the left, it's the same margin you're going to have to the right. So we can do that manually by using our eyes, or we can also do that by turning on this guy here, bar. So we can do that by turning on this guy. We can also do that with our eyes, whichever one that we want to. So now we want to do that manually by just, let's say that the shape from here to here is 42. So the reason why I'm saying these dimensions is because when I click on this image, I will click on Alt on my keyboard. So it's showing me the distance from the left to the top, to the bottom, and also to the right. Are you guys following me? All right, cool. So now that we've been able to know that this is 42, so the next thing we can do is to come to this guy here and also confirm that, okay, this is 31. So if I move it by clicking Shift and the direction icon that leads to the left, this now will be 41. If I add 1 to it, that's 42, I think, yes. So that's that. So I think we've been able to achieve this. So the next thing for us to do is to make sure that each and every shape here, the distance between them is the same. So we can do that by coming here, distribute the spacing horizontally, right? So we've done that. So I think with that being done, we are good to go. So the next thing for us to do is to change this color to blue and change this other guys, their color to what we have originally, which should be this, I guess. We can just tilt this. So let me off this guy now so we can see if we are making sense or not. So I think it's something like this. Something like this. So with that, I can confidently say to a fault that we've been able to replicate this in the way that we can. And kudos to you guys. That's that. So if you have questions, please, you have questions. Hello. Is the meeting still
Can
on?
we download it?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can we
Can you
download
hear us?
Sorry.
What did you say?
Can we
I
download
said we
what?
can.
Can you download it?
Yes, can we download it? Like just this image.
Is it this particular one that we just finished designing, or the one that you designed from, or the inspiration rather?
The one we just did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll share it with if it's with the document also, so you guys can have access to it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sorry, how did you transform it to this mobile image now? So,
Okay, so when you click on it, let me close this. When you click on it, then you go to this part. This is my name, right? Then you go to this part, so you can see preview. You can also see share. So instead of me to present it, I just clicked on preview. So it's going to come here and show. Because
all right, all right.
okay. Any other question, please? Hello? You guys are not asking questions. You guys have stuff to design. You guys have stuff to design. I would advise you ask questions.
We
Science
can
and
ask,
math.
right? We don't know what to expect yet, so I guess that's why.
You are going to expect this one is just like the normal stuff that teachers give to students that would definitely be different from the take-home assignment. That one is very, very certain. So please, you guys can ask questions. Thank you.
Questions, please. We've spent over 2 hours already. Please let's appreciate Mr. Harrison. Thank you so much, Mr. Any question? Any question? Any question? So do you see it as a doable thing, UI UX designer?
Yes.
Mhm. Any challenges? Questions, please.
It would be nice if we can get the website we can use to get the images, the icons and stuff.
Harrison.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, so he will send that to me and then access to the Figma. So would you want me to also add them to the Figma design, yeah?
I have to create
To the
a new page
Figma
for
account.
that. Then I will make you the host. So I'll make you the creator so you can add them.
All right, yes. Okay. All right. So that
The
is
Olu has a question.
Yeah, you said you're going to share us the community where we can get inspirations from.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So when you have a Figma account, you can come to this particular place, right? So when you get here, you click under your name. This is my name. Then from here, I think it's from here. I can click on that particular. They just gave me, this was not the name I chose for myself. Figma gave me this name. So from here, it's going to take me to the community. So this is the community where you can get design resources. So let's say I want to search for ID card. So it's going to give me different people that some of them are paid, some of them are free. So you can just come here and depending on the one that you want, they'll tell you the ones that are free, I guess. So you can open in Figma, but if it's paid, you will see there that you have to pay for it. So if I click open on Figma, but I'm not going to open it because I don't need it. So if I click it here, it's going to open on my Figma page and I'm going to see everything this guy has designed for me to use. So basically that is that about the community. Do you guys understand?
So it's a template, like Canva template
Yeah.
kind of.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Hello, any other question, guys? Hello. Can I stop presenting? Are we good to go? I trust you all.
yes, please.
Let's
Yes,
go.
please. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please again, let's applaud Mr. Harrison for the time taken. So far, I know some persons against it dropped off the call. Favor. Hello, Favor. All right. So that we don't wait much time. Thank you once again, Mr. Harrison. So once Mr. Harrison shares the credentials, I will have this forwarded, okay, to every one of us. And do it then, you have showed them the creation on the or how to design. So would we give them, how would you want it task? One person picking a model to design? Mr. Harrison.
So, are you asking how the design task is going to be for them?
Yeah.
Okay, based off what I'm just seeing, I think
Yeah.
some people have experience with Figma, why some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, I I think what we can do is, if the people that have an experience with Figma, I don't know how many people are there in the team. If
Mm-hmm.
one person can lead among
Okay.
them, that will
Mm-hmm.
make it much more easier for them to be given different models to design. But one person that has the idea on how to use Figma should actually lead the other people, so they'll be able to move faster.
Okay. All right then. So I think Nifemi will be the lead um for the team. All right. So when you share, then we would once you share the credentials, I will share with them, and yeah, so they will deliver tasks to, and you can just review, and then the MVP you coding begins. But thank you once again. I'll sync with you much later. Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining tonight's call. Do enjoy the
Oh,
rest of the evening. Bye.
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Amen. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.